So we're finally at the upper cathedral ward. And man, as soon as we enter, you can see a tree sticking out of the level itself. In fact, it's the same tree at the beginning of the game that you can see near Central Yarnum. Moving on quickly across the bridge, I noticed these alien creatures only giving me frenzy. The only things previous to do that were the Mind Frayer and Amygdala. Could they all have been derived from the old one? And could frenzy merely just be insanity? At the top of the stairs, you enter a giant gate with statues with hooded figures. And up some more stairs are figures. I can't recognize them, but they look insanely Cthulhu-like. Then some LMFAOs lingered, Yaska's creations. Or is Yaska merely carrying out the desires of the choir? Or better yet, the old one? Suspiciously wandering on, I came across the next boss. Although, I wouldn't exactly call it a boss, but a mini-boss. Tons of LMFAOs scurry across the screen. You can see statues below. Like they are encased LMFAOs, only emphasizing how long time has passed. But one thing I noticed is the title of the boss, Celestial Emissary, as if they were blessed by the Great One or this eldritch truth, and carried out the message of the Old One, channeling his vision and power. Then about halfway through the fight, out came a giant LMFAO. I can only think, are all of these LMFAOs all of what's left of the choir? Lest we all become beasts. After the boss, I came across the only hidden door I've seen, and you drop down to fight some LMFAOs, and a special one that drops a hunter's tool, a call beyond, saying the choir used phantasms to reach a lofty plane of darkness, but failed to make contact with the outer reaches of the cosmos. All I could think was the Old One and the Abyss, and possibly even Manus. As if they reached to speak to a higher being, but instead were greeted by nothing but darkness and the Old One. Going down an elevator, I saw those creepy alien-looking creatures again, and then through a fog gate, the boss, and the last of the Great Ones, Abritus, the daughter of the cosmos. The design of the boss tied with the name, and what we just read with the call beyond, thinking of the old one, it made even more sense. Not to mention this place being called the Altar of Despair, one of the originations of the spreading corruption. Her eyes were just like Rom. I felt the old one birth her as the dominating spread of its power. Being in the heart of the choir, this must have been the source of all of the madness, convincing them of performing these rituals, putting waves of thought into their heads. The fact the boss and the Altar of Despair itself reside just under the moonlight make me wonder if the moon has something to do with the Old One and its power. The whole reason everyone looks to space, because of the spreading madness and the provoking thought, the daughter of the cosmos, of the Old One. As if the Old One's power is so great, it is the sky and the cosmos and universe of the Souls game, saying no matter what, you will fall to its preying power, its seething, terrible evil. And you know, I never read The Call of the Cthulhu, but Bruce mentioned it today. I firstly am mind blown. I never even read Lovecraft to begin with. First of all, because I'm a huge Stephen King and Edgar Allan Poe fan myself. That Cthulhu is this all-knowing being that spreads its knowledge and came from the depths. Like it's a being created from humanity's terrible mistakes. A great terrible evil that awaits to be awakened. And thinking about Bloodborne and the Soul series as a whole, I felt honestly, it's very Lovecraft inspired at the heart. But at the same time with the Tolkien and classic fantasy mythology. And learning this today, man, doors flew open, guys. Gusts of wind took me through deep wormholes of thought. I still stick by my theory that this Great One, that the Great Ones, were born and from, is in fact, the Old One, in a different form. And seemingly so, very Cthulhu and Bloodborne's rendition. With this Daughters of Chaos, I only felt strong Cthulhu vibes, that just before the Scourge of the Beast, the choir was being corrupted after Willem awoke the Old One, and birthed Amygdala and the Daughter of Chaos and the others, spreading the corruption from the very depths, the foundation of Yarnum, from the kings and queens, the churches, and those who ruled the city just under the true queen. And if we think back to the forest at its current state, it was corrupted so far from the depths and the heart of Yharnam that it had been spreading outward to the neighboring forests. A city damned by the Old One, if you will. After finally beating it, the Daughter of Chaos, which honestly, guys, took me quite a bit. But when I did, I gathered around a bit. I noticed to the right of the boss's pillars and crumbled statues were very reminiscent of the Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 era. Also, some of the statues resembled the ones we saw on the stairs just a minute ago, that were very Cthulhu-like in nature. Almost as if it was showing a person worshipping the Old One and them transcending into a beast. Almost like it's the story of the Scourge of the Beast, the tale of the Forsaken Blood. And as you can see, I have the Canehurst armor equipped as my chest piece, and honestly, I thought it looked exactly like a lot of Dark Souls 1 armor. And it's almost like it's the last hint of Dark Souls, as it's the last armor design from that era, tying the lingering transition between eras and the Old One's slumber. With all the seeming fragments of Nito still lingering, like the Great One Reborn boss, I conclusively feel the story coming together. And I found the Altar of Despair itself. It's something you can actually interact with. It grew these almost lunar plants as if the moon's rays granted life to them. Panning the camera down, I noticed something. The roots under these lunar flowers that were growing, they shared the same eyes as Ram, as the Daughter of Cosmos, as the umbilical cords. As if somehow the Old One lies within the moon itself. Then walking around, I noticed these roots were not roots, but a dead spider that looked like Ram's babies or something larger. Possibly the Daughter of Chaos's child that died. As we know, every Great One loses its child. We could possibly even say that this is implying that the Daughter of the Cosmos birthed Ram. Is this who Mycolash was hoping heard its prayers? If the Old One is the Cosmos itself, and the Daughter of the Cosmos was the main channeling of its power? Could it be? I can only wonder, not only that, but how to use this Altar of Despair. So I traveled back to Alfred and gave him the unopened summons. He thanked me. And I followed him to Canehurst to see him honor his lost master. And I still remember thinking back to the note that their lost master had been lost to the Great One, only further emphasizing my theory, making the story come full circle at full force. When you get to the Queen's lair, Alfred has literally gone mad, acting as if he's talking to his master, when we both know we killed his lost master, talking in some sort of maniac tone, only reminding me of what the Daughter of Chaos and the Old One itself did to everyone in Yharnam. The way he was talking and all that was left of the Queen, the last of the Vile Bloods. I almost felt like it implied that Alfred ate her. And guys, all this Alfred situation made me think of was how no matter what, you cannot resist the terrible evil of the Old One. That even Alfred was corrupted by the Forsaken Blood. Maybe even just getting in contact with her blood was driving him mad, and heard the Old One's voice. Only further creeping me the hell out, you can obtain her mangled flesh and take it to the Altar of Despair. When you do and use the altar, it says time flows in reverse for the scrap of flesh. I feel like this is the sole foundation of the concept. We are born by the blood and undone by the blood. As we know, the Vile Queen most definitely drank the Forsaken Blood offered to her by Willem. So the Old One could quite have easily had power of not only her mind, but her soul as well, through that blood, the Forsaken Blood. This only emphasizes that the nightmare is never ending, just like what Mycolash said. To me, that means the Old One cannot be resisted. The Old One cannot be stopped. It's as if Willem was Bloodborne's Elan. Flawlessly, the plot gets more deep. So deep that it holds the darkest secrets of the Souls game yet. The ending is right around the corner, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the entirety of this Souls game. I cannot wait to see what the true ending holds in store for us. Don't forget to subscribe to see Bruce and I every weekend. Tell me what you liked, you didn't like, or what you like to see more of. Share your theories. Thanks for coming by for another lore breakdown of Bloodborne. Until next time, friends.
Look, I've done it. I've done it. I smashed
Whoa.
and grounded this rotten siren into fleshy pink pulp. There, you filthy monstrosity.